Okay, follow along as I read The Corpse Maker. Can a warrior stop a terrifying monster before it's too late? Based on the classic epic poem, Beowulf. This is set in Denmark, mid-6th century. Scene 1. Three friends talk in Herod, a grand banquet hall built by their king. Embla, we should go. The sun is already set. Yes, Embla, make haste. Listen, I think we should hide here tonight. Have you lost your mind? Embla, this isn't funny. Let's go. No, I want to see the monster with my own eyes. You have lost your mind. We can crouch here in the shadows. Grendel will never see us. This is insane. I'm leaving. Oddmar runs out the door. My parents have told me many stories of how it used to be. Heorot was once full of life, and not just during the day. People would laugh and sing into the wee hours. Now Heorot sits quiet and empty every night. Are you not curious to see the beast that has stolen this place from us? No. What has gotten into you? You know Grendel killed my... What was that noise? A guard bursts into the room. What are you doing here? You know how dangerous it is to be here after dark. Embla opens her mouth to answer, but her voice dies in her throat. Following Embla's gaze, the guard spins around, sword raised. Grendel! A horrible monster springs from the shadows. Run, children! The guard screams as they sprint past him and out into the night, but his screams do not last long. Scene 2. Guards keep watch from cliffs overlooking the sea. I understand your niece, Guthrun, barely escaped from Heorot last night. Yes, Grendel nearly stole another member of my family. I don't know what those kids were thinking. They say almost nothing was left of poor Halvar. The men go silent, lost in their thoughts. After a while they see a ship approaching. Look there! They watch as a ship drops its anchor, and the 15 men on board begin to come ashore. They are armed as if for battle, but who can they be? I will find out. Keep your spear at the ready. Wulfgar rides his horse to the shore. He calls out to a powerful-looking man who is clearly the leader. You appear to be a strong and noble warrior, but I advise you, tell me who you are and why you have come immediately. Wulfgar tightens his grip on his sword. We've come from Gateland, and we've come as friends. Many tales of the corpse maker who has terrorized you has reached our ears. We are here to offer our help. You seem honest and brave. I will take you to the king and pray for your survival. Scene 3. Wulfgar leads Beowulf and his men to Heorot. They stop outside the door. Wait here while I speak to the king. Wulfgar disappears into the hall as Beowulf's men speak in low voices. So, this is the legendary Heorot. It's terrible to think of the violence these walls have seen. Inside, Wulfgar speaks to King Hrothgar. My lord, they appear well-born and worthy of respect, especially Beowulf. Beowulf? I have heard that name before. They say he is a nobleman with the strength of 30 men in each hand. Send them in. As Beowulf and his men walk into Heorot, their eyes sweep over the cavernous space. A warm fire crackles in a pit at the center of the room. Torches burn along the walls, and candles flicker in giant iron chandeliers that hang from the ceiling. Small groups of people sit at long wooden tables that run the length of the hall. Look into their eyes. These people have lost all hope. The room falls silent as Beowulf approaches King Hrothgar, who sits at a small throne at the far end of the room. The queen sits beside him. Greetings, King Hrothgar. I am Beowulf, the nephew of the King of the Gates. I have come to help you destroy Grendel. Grendel? Destroy? Impossible. I have been soaked in the blood of my enemies many times. I have raided a nest of trolls and slaughtered sea monsters. Now, with your permission, I intend to rid this land of Grendel forever. There's Grendel listening to everybody talk in the hall, in the grand hall. My friend, the people of my kingdom have lived in terror for 12 long years. That foul creature comes here every night in search of his next victims. Many he devours on the spot. Others he carries back to his cave under the lake. The room is silent and still. Entire families have been murdered. We have lost nearly all of our best warriors. You will not lose me, but If Grendel does defeat me, if he carries off my bloody corpse, well, then we must see it as God's plan. Beowulf, I accept your offer. Yay! Scene 4. A few hours later, the tables inside Heorot are piled high with food. Laughter and conversation fill the hall. Everyone is in a hopeful mood, or at least almost everyone. All I can think about is last night. I know it's still daylight, but I keep expecting Grendel to come through that door. Do you think this Beowulf can save us? He is our only hope. The princess fills Beowulf's glass with mead. We are pleased to have you and your men as our guests. I have heard much about the great warrior Beowulf. At this, a man sitting nearby raises his voice. Beowulf, please. I know all about you. You're nothing more than a pompous windbag. Who are you, and why do you insult me? I am Unferth, and you are the man who once entered a swimming contest and became so obsessed with winning that you very nearly swam yourself to death, is what I heard. And in the end, you lost pitifully. Unferth takes an angry swig of his mead. The room has gone silent. It seems your ego is greater than your abilities. Grendel will destroy you. Friend Unferth, you've got the story all wrong. I did swim in a contest, until the sea began to boil, pulling me and my opponent apart. Before long, I felt the grip of a loathsome beast pulling me down, down, down. This is going to be great. Shh. My armor protected me as I fought the ghastly creature. Finally, I plunged my sword deep into its chest, and by morning, I had killed 8 more monsters. Woo! Wow! He's amazing. Sometimes fate rewards men for their courage. Now then, Unferth, I cannot recall hearing of your courage or your swordsmanship. Grendel has no reason to fear you, but he will fear me. King Hrothgar smiles as laughter and song fills the hall once more. Perhaps next time, Unferth, you will shut your lips against your jealous tongue, Darkness approaches and the hall empties. Hrothgar and the queen speak to Beowulf. I have never left Heorot in anyone else's hands. Tonight, I leave it in yours. If you succeed, there is nothing that you desire that won't be yours. I will kill Grendel and end the suffering of your people, or I will die trying. God keep you, Beowulf. Good night. Scene 5. Alone in Heorot with his men, Beowulf makes an announcement. Grendel murders with his own hands, never with swords or shields. So tonight, I will lay my sword aside. If the fiend dares face me, he will find me unarmed. The men lie down to sleep. I do not expect that we will see our homeland again. Indeed, I do not expect we will see the sunrise. Beowulf is powerful, but I fear no man is matched for this monster. Take heart, Hanshio. We do not know God's will. Still, it is true, Grendel has killed even the mightiest warriors. I'm not afraid. I just wanted to say that if I am slain and you survive, enough. Let's just close our eyes and rest. The men drift off into a fitful sleep. Outside, a giant strides against the misty hills. Suddenly, the door flies open. Grendel has come. A gleeful smile spreads across his face as he sees that Heorot is full of men. Suddenly, Beowulf cries out, Fiend! I've been waiting for you. But before Beowulf can make a move, Grendel snatches Hanshio and devours him. With Hanshio's blood shining on his teeth, Grendel turns to Beowulf. He raises a clawed hand to strike and seems utterly shocked when Beowulf grabs his arm and blocks the attack. You have met your match, you wretched creature. Grendel tries to pull away but cannot. Man and beast struggle furiously. The other warriors try to help their leader but find their swords have no effect on Grendel's thick skin. Hours pass as the fight continues. Screaming in anger and fear, Grendel kicks benches in half and pulls chandeliers to the floor. Yet Beowulf keeps hold of Grendel's arm. Finally, with a blood-curdling cry, Grendel wrenches himself away from Beowulf, and it is his end. Grendel's arm, still clutched in Beowulf's powerful grip, rips off at the shoulder. Mortally wounded, Grendel slips out the door and into the night. Scene 6. The next morning a crowd gathers inside the badly damaged Heorot. News of Beowulf's victory is spreading fast. "We could hear Grendel's screams from our house." "I heard that Beowulf snapped Grendel's arm like a twig." But does anyone know if Grendel was actually killed? A group of Hrothgar's warriors arrive on horseback. "We followed Grendel's trail of blood all the way to the lake." It is certain the monster is dead. And there is the trophy. It's Grendel's arm nailed to the wall. Truly, Beowulf, you are a warrior like none other that has ever lived. Beowulf, you have made yourself immortal. You will be richly rewarded, and, what's more, I adopt you in my heart as a son." "My lord, I am honored." Unferth, who had been listening from the back of the crowd, clears his throat. Everyone looks at him. "Indeed, you are a mighty warrior, Beowulf." "Hail Beowulf! Hail Beowulf!"